Hi, it's Joy, and this is part 2 of my reaction to Stranger Things episode 7 of season 4, the Massacre at Hawkins lab. I can't wait. You can find this unedited on my Patreon as just for the first part, and let's go. Is this that day? I mean, of course it's that day, but where are we at that day? She didn't do anything. It's just like with Angela, the teacher or whatever. I mean, again, they can't strike out at Papa. They can't make him pay for hurting their friend. They can't hurt him for hurting them, so they hurt someone smaller than them. It is a cycle. It's vicious. It doesn't excuse their actions, but Brenner is the villain. I don't trust you. I don't believe that. I might believe it's all part of his twisted battle for the fittest, but I do think in his Papa, in Brenner's twisted mind, he's a good guy. And so he wants all these kids to have the best chance to become little soldiers for him. I do not trust Jamie Campbell Bower. She was like 6, 7, 8 years old. He's manipulating her. I do not know to what ends. He wants to use her for his own purposes. I love this. It's like a callback to 1. These babies.
Can't get back to Watergate?
What the hell's Watergate?
Because it's in water and it's a gate.
Oh, that's
Bless him, Stephen.
No, anybody understand what he's talking about?
no idea. Okay.
They dumb.
How many times do I have to be right on the money before you guys get trust me?
Jesus Christ, this kid's got to get his econ checked. His tone, right?
Okay, so
Honestly, shouldn't have gone with her first. She's like, kind of mean. We'll find you.
They're like, yes.
Get back here! Do it!
I guess it's just a minor misdemeanor.
Erica! Your kids know more than they're telling you. You'd be so scared for them, especially with all the vigilantes around. At least when they were with you, they were safe. Oh, stress. Oh, fuck. We have no weapons. This is the way she escapes in the future, right?
Can you feel it? Oof. Calls it cemetery. It weakens me, attracts me. Even if there were another way out, he will find me.
Why does he need to be weak and...
You help me, I help you.
Oof, this is what he wanted. This is what he wanted her for. As much as I do not like Brenner, is there a good reason why we're dampening this bitch's abilities? Is he one? Fuck, Murray has to be like, oh my god. Fuck. Thank god he leapt over the guard we vaguely like. Yes, yes, yes! Fuck, it's gonna get loose in the prison. Come on, come on, come on! We're doing them all. This is very Joyce Byers. Just in time, right? Oh god, not in time, not in time! Yes, yes, yes! She came for you. We've got to move though. But yes, beautiful hug and then move. She came for you. That's true love. And I don't even just mean romantic, I just mean that's truly loving another person and risking it all. I do also believe they have true romantic love, but you know what I mean.
World record. Most miles traveled interdimensional.
Steven's not okay.
Just nailed a bunch of that crap. Stuck in my throat.
I don't think that's the problem, Steve. I think it's the biting.
What the hell is that?
Is it like a probe, like the science people, or a monster? Oh my god, is it Dustin and co? Fuck. I understand why Elle trusts him, but I don't think this is a good idea. See, I could see him being like, seeing her as a young version of him with as much potential and wanting to hurt everyone else but not her.
My theory is correct. Abracadabra.
One. Nancy? What the actual fuck? Nancy, what just happened? Is it because they were bitten? Fuck! Oh my god, Vecna. This is the part of the pool with oh my fucking god.
Vecna.
I knew she had guilt over Barb. Out of everybody here, she's been carrying guilt all this time and self-hatred and... Nancy, they are right with you. You were never left alone. They've been here this whole time, okay? Nancy.
Remember what you did.
You didn't do anything, sweetheart. You were a teenage girl who had no idea what was happening outside.
I never forget.
You didn't forget a single time, Nancy. You just began to heal. You didn't kill Barb. The Upside Down did. The Demogorgon took her. The murdering has started. So maybe he did want to spare Elle? But all of the other children weren't evil. The little ones especially. And the older ones weren't evil. They were just similarly tortured to breaking point. I mean, seriously, if one was gonna kill anyone, he should have fucking killed Papa. She was so small.
I asked you to wait. To be alone. You swear.
That's still how she feels. Even now, she feels alone. I don't know what your favourite song is, but start singing it.
I didn't fit in with the other children.
One is this kid.
All the teachers and the doctor.
Everything is connected. I love it.
You're poisoning our world, all while enforcing a structure
Even without the Upside Down, he would have grown up to be a serial killer.
unnatural. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die.
I mean, you're not wrong. Capitalism is a problem. Murdering people isn't the answer.
I could restore balance to a broken world.
He had powers already. He tortured his family this whole time. It wasn't Vecna. Vecna wasn't a thing. The Upside Down wasn't a thing. It was just a superpowered child. That makes so much more sense because there wasn't a gate back then, right? When pets start showing up dead, it's normally the sign of a serial killer to be, and he was just a superpowered one. Holy fuck. This makes so much sense because it was like, how on earth did Vecna come through when Elle hadn't created the portal on the gate yet? But I can only think that when we see her screaming with the blood and everything, does she send him to the other side?
And so she left me with no choice.
Jesus.
No choice but to act. To break free.
We didn't see him much, did we?
I did not yet know my limits.
That's why his...
Killed me.
Fuck. So his dad didn't survive because of the song, he survived because he ran out of power?
Woke up from my coma only to find myself placed in the care of a doctor.
They knew.
Doctor I had hoped to escape. Dr. Martin Brenner.
He knew. See, this is just a psychopathic child who happened to have superpowers. That doesn't, and even then, yes, he would need to be locked up for other people's safety. Like, yes, I understand that. Wouldn't need to be tortured, and wouldn't, like, you know, there are still rights they could have, and it doesn't excuse treating any superpowered child the same way.
He did not just want to study me.
What did it make you?
He wanted more.
This is like explaining the origin of Stranger Things.
Fun. You're still with me.
Fucking hell.
No, I saved you.
He is truly deranged.
You're a prisoner here,
She is,
like me.
but you should be in a prison regardless.
And we make it however we see fit.
Her saying no to this, given everything she's been through and how she was raised, shows you the strength of her goodness and character. No. She was like 6, 7, 8 here as well. This was the first time she breached the other side, I'm guessing. And he spent all this time Vecnering. Now the other side has been obsessed with Elle ever since, and it's not just because she closed the gate in season 2. This shows you the true strength that Elle has, how strong she is innately. Because he's been strengthened by all his kills. Poor traumatized girl. Oh lord. Oh my god, this poor child!
I love you.
Beautiful, brave child. She's stronger than you are, bitch. Oh my lord. She's so small. The fact that she could do this at that age shows you how powerful she is. So was he just floating like this for those years? Fucking hell. He became Vecna. Fuck. So Vecna isn't even just an upside down creature, he is a creature of our side that is poisoning that side. Jesus. Well, the part of me that is annoyed that I had to wait a week is at least slightly pleased that that does then mean I only have to wait a few days to watch the last episodes. So, do we just assume point blank the Mind Flayer is in charge and Vecna's doing his bidding? Or could that assumption be based on false evidence? And is Vecna in charge of everything? Is it Vecna? Was the Upside Down just a little universe parallel to ours, and then this evil psychopathic boy with superpowers was sent through and he became who he was on the inside on the outside, and he became that twisted thing, and he has been twisting the Upside Down ever since, and that's why he's trying to get through, that's why he's trying to get back so he can do what he always wanted to do and cleanse the world of the pests that are humans. Because if that is the case, it really makes you look at season 1 and everything that's happened in a whole new light. It's so interesting. Even if it's just Vecna got to the other side and the Mind Flayer was like, hey, I could use you. It's still just everything we learnt in this episode, how they framed it, the storytelling they did. It doesn't invalidate everything that's come before. It doesn't mean that you're like, well, now everything in season 1 doesn't matter. It adds to it. It makes it even more impactful, and it explains things, and it explains why of things, and fucking hell. It reminds us all that Elle is a hero through and through, and the fact that she keeps being scared she's a monster shows you of just what a good person she is, because she's only ever done good. Her over-the-top response to Angela makes sense with everything, and I'm just so proud of her. I'm so proud of how far she's come. And you think about this thing happened, she opened the first gate, I presume here, although then Hawkins got frozen in 83, not 79. It's fine. I suppose that was it got frozen. Maybe the Upside Down made itself look like Hawkins while he was looking for her, and then once he found her he didn't need to bother with that anymore or something, I presume. This whole thing flips everything on its head, and I think it's perfect timing because we've got a big 2-part finale, but then we've got one more season in which we're going to wrap everything up, and we potentially know the origin of all the threats from the Upside Down, the origin of everything. And yeah, the fact that he was just a superpowered child that was born, and he happened to be born as a child who was a psychopath. Because, you know, things like torturing animals, feeling that disconnect from humans, these are all, I'm pretty sure, classic signs of being a psychopath, at least when you watch Criminal Minds. You know, without superpowers, he would have ended up murdering people. It just was helped by his superpowers. The fact that his family, it wasn't even the Upside Down bleeding through the house. The reason Vecna is so attached to that house was because it was their kid. And the mum suspected potentially, but the dad, it was his precious son. He just thought his son was struggling. It's just so epic. Oh my god. And yeah, Elle will probably will blame herself for taking the chip out of his head, but again, given how old she was and the information she had, of course she would do it. She was a child. This is like the only person that's been nice to her. She's seeing that the bad men who hurt her have hurt him. And you think going forward from here, she repressed all of this. She essentially repressed all of her memories from before this and this moment, all of that trauma. And we know that by season 1, she barely spoke. I mean, she could speak, and this would explain how she picked up speech fairly quickly, because she didn't know how to speak, it was just repressed. Oh my god. It just adds thousands upon thousands of layers, and Elle, I love you. It also explains the Upside Down's targeting of her, because they know she was stronger as an 8-year-old, 6-year-old. I don't know how old she is. I keep just saying 8. If they were 11, 12 in season 1. So she was 6, 7, 8. We'll say 7 to round it up. The level of goodness in Eleven's heart, given where she's been raised. The fact that after this she was still tortured, still abused. I wonder if it was partly because Brenner couldn't understand what had happened. He knew she'd helped with the chip removal. Also, he didn't have any other experiments, backups. And to the fact that Brenner is at the heart of all of this, he found this superpowered psychopath and was like, gonna experiment on this one. It is still a child. Like, yes, I don't know that there was ever a future in which Jamie Campbell-Bower was going to be getting a nice life and being let out, rehabilitated, but that doesn't mean you have an excuse to torture him, experiment on him, take away all rights that he has. Yes, he's murdered people. Yes, that means I do not like him. I'm not going to be like crying over his treatment compared to Eleven's treatment, but even felons, even criminals have rights. Fuck. So the origin of everything was in this episode. It's going to be so impactful when Elle comes up against it. But what I'm worried about is, as Vecna, he's really... Vecna... No, I was trying to see if that backwards was a name or anything. Of course, fucking, he doesn't call himself Vecna. What am I on about? We just called him Vecna. As Vecna, he taps into your feelings of guilt, and I wonder whether Elle will have some of that about freeing him in the first place. That could be an interesting dynamic. So all the revelations with 11 were amazing. They just reinforced everything we know about who she is as a character. It reinforced how cruel and criminal Brenner is, how he intentionally experimented on pregnant women. It wasn't like, oh, we were doing this experiment and whoopsie-doo, she was pregnant. It was, oh yeah, we're either making sure they were pregnant, which is truly horrific, or doing subtle like checks and, oh yeah, that one's pregnant, great, we'll do it, to get these superpowered children. Fuck. So, yeah, Brenner is not a good guy. He is despicable in every shape, every way of the words. Now Elle has her powers back. I kind of hope she just destroys that place. Like, doesn't kill anyone, that's not what she's about, but destroys all of the facility and then leaves. But then we have the issue of the military is actively hunting her, knows where she is, and thinks she's killing people. She is not killing people, sir. And yeah, this military is pretty torturous. I I suppose if you see the files from that day, she helped the guy escape and then he killed people and then she killed him, would be what it looked like. But I can see why they would go to those levels, but the level of torture they do on their own people is not good. I'm stressed. So then back in Hawkins, I loved the kids figuring out how to communicate with the lights. That callback to season 1 was really beautiful as well. Steve, I am very concerned with. Obviously I'll get to Nancy. Fucking hell. I'm kind of holding out hope for both Steve and Nancy that we have reached the point where I'm very scared for their survival now, with 2 episodes of the season to go. So if they were the ones to die in the 2 episodes to come, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've known that was coming, bitch. It doesn't shock me. So they can't be the ones to die, okay? So we're just going to move them to the safe zone. Same with Max. Max, come up here. Safe zone. I'm stressed. So, Steve, I am concerned because he was strangled, bitten in multiple places by upside downness. I feel like he's definitely going to be infected with something or have something inside of him, and that scares me for now and for season 5. It may not be resolved in this season when he does survive. Especially as, like, he was the only one that was like, bleh, I swallowed some of this stuff. The others weren't like, oh god, yeah, me too. Whereas, like, even in this 4th situation, they were still making those little quips and jokes, trying to keep spirits up. So if I had also swallowed a load of weird gunk, and one of my friends said that, I would be like, fuck yeah, me too. It stresses me out. Nancy, Vecna is currently Vecnaring. She'll be fine. I'm sticking with this. My denial is strong because we've got 2 episodes to go. You don't kill Nancy at the beginning. How lame would that be? We just figure out what her favourite song is. Steve will be like, oh, when we were dating, it was All Too Well by Taylor Swift. She can see into the future. She's really cool like that. They'll sing it to her. And then she'll be fine, right? Something like that will happen. It's fine. These episodes have got me ridiculously back into wanting Steve and Nancy to find a way to be together. In general, regardless, I do just want them to stay friends. Like, I think all of this group, whether the romances stay or go, I want them to stay friends together and close together. I do think before Nancy and Steve were to act on these feelings, I would want her to speak with Jonathan, because I really didn't appreciate that in season 2, that Nancy and Jonathan acted on their feelings without her speaking to Steve to be like, yeah, we are done, right? Like, they'd had an argument, but they weren't technically, like, it was a bit messy. They were young, they were kids, and they were traumatized. It was okay, like, it wasn't enough for me to hate them like I would in other circumstances like that, but it wasn't my favourite, so I do not want a repeat of that. In general, I think potentially maybe Nancy needs to be alone for a while, and alive, to figure out what she wants. I don't know. I loved the sequence of them going underneath the thing. Nancy holding on to Barb's death. Rewatching it really reinforced to me how much of her character was about Barb and feeling guilty over it. It's why she broke up with Steve. It wasn't because I think her relationship with Steve never truly grew because she always had that guilt, and then that's when she came out with everything's bullshit. Oh fuck. No California crew, which was weird. Makes sense, I guess, there was a lot going on. But one scene with them would have been nice to just check they were, you know, alive. Though I guess they aren't currently in any danger. Nancy, I'm stressed for you and Steve. The others made it up. Obviously anybody else can jump down. They are all in danger because Vecna doesn't know exactly where they are. Vecna can send any kind of creatures there. I am currently under the impression that he is in charge and that potentially he has created everything that is here. Or has turned it evil if it was here already. Maybe the Mind Flayer is still in charge, but even so, the Mind Flayer is just sitting back like, have fun, Vecna. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. Russia. Jesus Christ, so much has happened that I'm almost like forgetting Russia. Joyce and Hopper reuniting was absolutely everything. I do kind of wish this episode had ended with them on a plane back to America somehow. I know that wouldn't have been necessarily realistic. I enjoyed the kind of... I would have preferred it had Hopper's initial escape plan succeeded and had this last couple of episodes been them going back to their home in California and seeing there big bullets everywhere, or there being military police outside, and kind of trying to navigate that, trying to figure out where their kids were. That's what would have been better in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that this stuff has been bad. It hasn't been bad. It's just been like, I just want to hurry up and get them home to the kids. At least I think we're on that path now. The Demogorgon is not dead, I don't believe, because it just looked very irritated that it had the spear in the face. We didn't see it collapse, which I think we would have done had it died. And there are obviously a lot of angry Russians, and they're in the middle of Russia and they do not currently have a working plane unless Yuri had another working plane somewhere that they could use. I just want them all to get home ASAP. Elle needs to see her dad again. Joyce needs to see her kids again. Murray needs to have peanut butter again. I don't know. Murray needs to be home again. I need everyone back together ASAP in the finales as well. The fight against the Demogorgon was very frightening. I felt relatively confident that Hopper would survive. Now in the next 2 parts, that confidence is going to leave my life. But right now, I was like, no one's going to die in this episode, it's fine. Denial is fun. I was a little worried, but I was still thinking, like, I think had he looked up and seen Joyce was there, then I would have been like, he is about to die and she's going to be forced to watch. But the fact that, like, he had no clue Joyce was there, I was like, that'd have made it more angsty. But that fight, when it wouldn't light and then just desperately trying to open the doors, Joyce just pressing every button, it was so in character for everybody. Their reunion was everything, even if every part of my being was screaming, run! I love dramatic reunions like that, I really do. But when people are still in danger, it's like, just hug it later, hug on the plane. Just spend the whole plane journey hugging. Time to run. I feel like I'm missing things because so much has happened. My brain is so boggled with the Vecna reveal. Yeah, this was fantastic. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.